back. Certainly glad you could join me again today. Got your palette set up? Let's get going here. Let's start off and have them graphically run all the colors across the screen that you need to do this painting with me, and they'll come across as usual in the same order that I have them on the palette, starting with the white and working around. While they're doing that, let's go on up here. I've already covered the canvas with a thin, even coat of liquid white. It's nice and wet and slick and all ready to go. I thought maybe today, let's do a little fall scene where maybe the weather's not too great. You know, in the fall we have a lot of rainy weather, and the snow's going to come pretty soon. So let's do something like that and just have some fun. I'm going to start out using a small amount of yellow ochre. Just the tiniest little bit, a very small amount. And right here, sort of make a determination where the horizon's going to be. And I'm going to begin swinging this upward, just using strokes like so. A little bit more color. We'll have a little water in this painting. As you know, I'm sort of a water fanatic. I like that water. A little yellow in here. Okay, I'm going to go right into some Van Dyke brown. In the same way, just tap the brush into it. Okay, let's go right up here. And I'm going to put a little brown right in here. I'm beginning to create these sky angles. Don't let them get too straight like this. It'll disturb you when it's done. Now I'm going to take brown and a touch of Prussian blue. Let me say that again. A touch. Prussian blue is so strong. Just a little bit. Just brown and blue. Okay. Now then, just begin bringing that all together. Add a touch of the midnight black to it. So now we have, in the sky, we have a little bit of yellow ochre, some brown, a little Prussian blue, and some midnight black. And we're just going to sort of work all these nice little colors together. Try to keep the blue off that yellow or you'll get a bright green sky. Okay. Now then, before we start blending that, we still have a dirty old brush. I'm going to take some more of the Prussian blue and a little bit of the black. There we go. And let's go ahead and lay our water in. Pull from the outside in. See, if you start from here and go across, watch what happens. You touch here and go across, you get this big line. That's bad. And then it's hard to blend out. So start from the outside and come over, and that way you don't have that harsh line that you have to blend out. There we go. Little tricks like that save you a lot of agony. We want this to be easy, and we want it to work for you. Okay, a little bit more of the midnight black and Prussian blue mixture. Don't want to kill all that nice little yellow area that you have, because that blue and black will eat it up in a heartbeat. Okay, a little darker at the bottom than it is at the top. That'll help create your illusion of distance. Okay, let me wash the old brush. Wash the old brush. Shake off the excess. That is the fun part. Okay, let's go right back up here. And I'm going to begin blending this together. Follow the angles in the sky. I'm going to use long strokes and start in the light area and work up toward the darker area. That way your brush is dirty when it gets to the top. Use your clean brush in the light area. And you can just begin bringing all this together. All of those angles, though. There we go. It's nice and soft. Okay. And that gives us a quick, happy little sky. Down here, we just go all the way across. That straightens out the water and brings it all together. And we're ready. Let me get an old fan brush here. I'm gonna mix up, let's take a little black, a little brown, a tiny bit of the Prussian blue, and a little bit of the alizarin crimson. Into that, I'm gonna put some white here and pull a little bit of that into it. Maybe I'll add a little more blue to that. And a touch more crimson. There we go. That's sort of what I'm looking for. It's a very dark lavender to the blue side. It's very dark. It's almost a gray color. This is going to be a gray, cloudy day. Okay, let me wipe off my knife. Now let's take the old fan brush and go right through a little bit of color. Don't need a lot of paint on the brush this time, just a little. Add a small amount of brown into that, a little more into the brownish color. There we go, good. Let's go right up here. Now back in here, you have to make a decision. Maybe there lives some happy little evergreens. Just take the corner of the brush, just back and forth. Just sort of pop in just a little evergreen. And some indications of some that are even farther away. All we see is just the basic shapes. And I'm just touching and sort of pulling it downward. See, you can make all kinds of little basic shapes. See, touch, use the top part of the brush and just give it a little downward snap. There. Put a little more paint on the brush. Maybe over here we got some. Now be careful, or these will get looking like fence posts. There. And to about there. That's good enough. Now then, I'm going to put a few more indication of some trees that have a little more shape to them. And we're just using the corner of the brush and just work them in, back and forth. These little trees live right in your fan brush. Sometimes you have to sort of scare them out. There. And you just put as many or as few as you want in your world. There we go. Okay, maybe he's got a little friend there. Just drop him in. Now then, I want to create the illusion of mist back here. I want this to be very soft and very distant, so we'll take the 2-inch brush and tap. I'm using the top corner. See, look how hard it's hitting. It's bending. Really get in here and tap it, tap it, tap it. See, and you can create the illusion of a very, very soft area back here. You can even let it come up above some of these here to really soften it. See, these trees are already just lost right in the mist. Okay. Can you believe how that pushes all that back? Just that little tapping action. Okay, now then. Now let's have another plane in the painting. And a plane, I mean just another area that's closer to you. So we'll take those same old colors. We'll use some brown. I'm going to put some dark sienna in there this time. And a little bit of sap green. As things get closer, we'll begin to see a little more detail. Just a little sap green, though. Okay? Brush is really full of paint. Let's go right up in here. There it is. These trees are a little closer. They're a little bit bigger. Look at that. Turn that old brush over and use both sides of it. There we go. This tree's stronger. He got a little more light. There. Okay. We don't want him to get lonely, so we'll give him a friend too. You know, friends are so important, not only to trees, but to us. And through painting, I've made hundreds and hundreds of new friends all over the country, and that may be the most rewarding part of all this. Most rewarding part. There. I tell you what, here's a happy little tree. He lives right there. Just sort of visualize in your mind where you think the tree would be happy, and you put him in there. Just put him in there. Take a little bit of the dark sienna and just tap it onto this brush, and then I want to gather up some of this color that we had on the tree and begin very softly putting in little hills. Look at there. See? Pick up some of that tree color and just let it, just tap, just let it go. There was a tiny bit of dark sienna on the brush. Tiny bit. Tiniest little bit. See how you can set those trees right up on a little hill? And then you begin pulling that down. But I want this to be very, very soft, very quiet. I like very gentle little paintings. Now when you're doing yours at home, if you want it to be brighter and stronger, just use a little stronger color. Because painting is a very individual thing. There. Okay. Now, let's go right back into here and load up just load that fan brush full of paint. Okay, tell you what, let's do. Let's have a tree that lives right there. And we take just the corner of the brush and begin working him down. So you can just push that old tree right out of that brush. A little more paint. Just push it hard when you get down this far. When you first start, you're pushing quite easy. By the time you get down here, getting tough with it, strong with it. A little more color. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's do right here. Big son of a gun. See, all these different sizes of trees help create the illusion of distance, depth in your painting. There we go. Is that beginning to look like fall yet? Sort of a mean old sky. There. Okay, now then I'm going to go back into a little tiny little bit of the dark sienna. Tiny, can't say that enough times. And I'm going to create another plane here, and I'm going to pick up some of the tree color. See how that, and all I'm doing is just tapping the canvas. Just tap, and we'll bring it right on across. Add the least little touch more of the sienna. Look at there. See, it creates a whole nother plane and pushes all those trees back here, back into the distance. Isn't that super? Now, I'm going to have water here. So let's take a little bit of that color and just pull it down. So we have a little reflection. I'm using just a little bit of the dark sienna, a little Van Dyke brown on the brush to pull down and create a reflection here. Just a happy little reflection. Like right there. Right there. And then lightly go across. Okay. Now then, I'm going to take the same old brush without cleaning it, just the same old dirty brush, and tap right into a little bit of the yellow ochre and the bright red. Just tap it gently. See? Just tap, okay? Now then, here, this is a little closer, so we're beginning to see an indication of some highlights. And same way, just gently tapping. That was bright red. And a tiniest little touch of yellow ochre. Now the red is very strong. Be careful with it. Be careful with it. It'll eat up your whole world in just a second. Take a little brown, a little dark sienna mixed together, pull it out and cut across. Get that small roll of paint right on the edge of the knife. Okay, now then, just a little land indication right in there. Just like so. Just sort of scrubbing across the canvas. Tiniest little bit. Add a little white to that same color. Like that. And then just an indication of a touch of highlight here. I don't want much highlight in this. Just a touch here and there. Okay. A little bit of the liquid white. Cut across it. And we'll put just an indication of a little water line. Not too much, not too bright. Okay. Now then, go back into my browns. Sienna and the Van Dyke. And I'm going to grab some more of this tree color. I'm going to put a little peninsula. I think it comes right out here. And when you're doing this, just step back, look at your painting, and make decisions. Just make decisions. Pull a little bit of this color down. Just a little. Go gently across. Now, same old dirty brush. Back into my yellow ochre and bright red mixture. Just a little. Same old dirty brush. You can get over here and a little bit of this cad yellow too. It's all right. Now then, see? Follow the angles of the land, the lay of the land. Just follow it right on down. Brighter on top. And then darker as it works down. If you want to show a little protrusion here. See? That's how easy that is. Creates the illusion of another little hill just by changing the value of the color or the intensity. A little bit of that right down to the water, go across, and you have instant reflections. Let's play a little bit over here. Tell you what, let's do. I'm going to use a round brush and go right into my browns. That's the sienna and the Van Dyke. Tap out the excess. Okay, let's go up here. Maybe back in here there's some happy little trees. Maybe these are little birch trees that live way back in the distance. Just put some little indications. Like so. Like so. Use the old script liner brush. Just take it, a little paint thinner on it, and go right into the brown. Turn it, bring it to a sharp point. Let's put just a few basic, very basic indications of a tree branch here and there, a little tree trunk. Not looking for a lot of detail. Same old dirty brush, now go into a small amount of the yellow ochre and the bright red. Smallest little amount, I'm just barely touching. Then I want to just touch right up at the top here. Put some indications. Begin forming some basic little patterns, some little shapes into your trees. Don't just throw these on at random. I know I say that in every show, but I get the most letters about that, is that my tree shapes don't look right. And that's normally the problem. 99% of the time the problem is a color is just thrown on at random. Sort of look at it, practice it. A little bit of practice here will pay you tremendous dividends. Tremendous dividends. Just a few little bushes and all kinds of things. Okay, tell you what. Go into a little brown. Let's put a little land area right there. See? Just right there. Right there. Okay, a little bit of that highlight color. That's just a little brown and white. Not too much, just a little here. A little bit of the liquid white. Cut us in a little water line. I'm going right back into the browns. I have yet to wash this brush. I've been going back and forth between the browns and the highlight colors. And now I'm going to put another little peninsula that lives right there. And so you don't care if the bottom of it sort of comes down because you just pull that down. That easy. That easy. Makes little reflections. And then lightly go across. Go right into our color. Yellow ochre, bright red, little Indian yellow here and there, and little cad yellow. And put a few little highlights on it. Okay. And see, and you can put a little land under that. Just a little dirt. Just a little dirt. Like so. And maybe take a little liquid black. Maybe there's a happy little tree. Doop, lives right out there. There we go. He lives out on this little peninsula. Give him a little foots to stand on. Don't want him to fall over. He's a strong little tree. Put all kinds of little limbs. There we go. A few little sticks and twigs down here. And when you're doing this at home, you put as many sticks and twigs as you want in there. Okay, back to my browns. Let's build a little more here. Come right down here. There we go. There we go. Just sort of fill all this up. I just see all kinds of things. Just fill it right up. Oh, to maybe about there. See? Once again, and you work in layers, work in stages, completing the most distant area first and working forward. Always working forward. Tell you what, let's have some fun. I'm going to put a little cabin back here, a little house. Wouldn't it be nice to live here and watch all the big Canadian geese come in? And right there, that's where a little house will be. We'll give him a little roof. Just pull him over. Come right down. There we go. All I'm doing here is blocking in color. Just blocking in some color. Okay, I'll take some white, some of the dark sienna, a little bit of Van Dyke brown, pull it out flat, little roll of paint. Okay, maybe there's some boards in this old building that go this way. See, they come right across like that. Doop, 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 doop. Then we'll cut him off, put that dark. And now maybe down here, this may be an old log cabin. Just put the indication of some things going like that. Look at that, look at that. Now darker color on this side. Just put some indications right on down. And we need something on the roof. I'll add a little bright red to that color, just a tiny bit. And right down the roof here, just let the knife sort of bounce. Go boop, 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 boop. Got to make that noise or it don't work. Doesn't work. I'll take at least a little bit of light color, just a little white or something, just to highlight that so it stands out and you can see it. Just so you can see it. Dark down in here. And maybe this house has stones underneath. You can just take the point of the knife and just very quickly just scratch in some basic old stones. He has a basement in his house. He's really got a fancy cabin out here. Let me get the little knife for a second. Okay, take a little bit of the Van Dyke brown. Let's have him a door. Maybe he's got one door right down here so he can come right in the basement. Cut that right off where you want it. Use just a little white on the knife to sort of highlight that. And then we'll take on the small edge of the knife a little bit of Prussian blue. Just put the indication of a few little windows in there. Isn't that easy? Makes us a happy little thing. Okay, let's go back to bouncing right into some of this color. Bright red, yellow ochre, cad yellow. Now then, let's come right down in here. Ooh, that's a pretty one. That's a pretty one. Now, if you have any trouble at all making your paint stick, add a little tiny, tiny bit of your liquid white or paint thinner, whichever. Liquid white will change your color a little bit, make it a little brighter. There. I tell you what, I'm going to take the little knife again and come right in here. We'll put a happy little path coming out. He's got to have a way to get down to the lake, catch that big fish that lives down here. A little bit of land, some stones here and there. Just whatever. A little brown and white for some highlights. There we go. Now then, let's go back into our ochres and reds and Indian yellow, and let's begin bringing this right down. I like this little painting because it really does give you the feeling of fall. There we are. See, just make little layers, little things happening all down through here. Okay, tell you what. Maybe right in here lives a little tree. Maybe that's just a little, maybe that's a little birch tree. I like birch trees. And they usually grow in clumps, so you ought to put several of them. It's real rare that a birch tree grows by itself. He's a community tree. Okay. A little bit of the liquid black. And we can just put the indication of a happy little limb here and there. That really helps push your little cabin back further into the painting. Much further back. Tell you what, let's have some fun. Let's go back into the browns. Put another little peninsula right there. And in your world, you put as many or as few of these as you want. Just want to show you how to do it. Then turn you loose on the world. Pull that straight down. Come right across. Go right back into my highlight colors, the yellow ochres and the reds. Let's come right along here. See there? Drop in a few little happy highlights. Now, I'm going to take my fan brush again, go right into the Van Dyke brown, dark sienna, just mix them together. Okay, right here, right somewhere right here, there. Just make a decision, drop it in. Big old tree. Big old tree. And this big tree will help push everything in your painting back. Helps create much more depth in your painting. Give it a big old root to stand on down here. Big tree has to have a big root. There we go. We'll just make an indication of a limb that comes right out. Just tap it on with a fan brush. And we can take a little bit of the bright red, a little dark sienna, a little white, mix it together, like so. Cut across it. Let's go up here and just put some highlights on. Use these warm colors that really make it feel like fall. Boy, I'm going to get my coat out and start seeing if it's all right. Just a few little highlights here and there. Now then, back to my liner brush and right into the liquid black. Let's have some limbs that are just hanging every which way. Just drop some of these in. There's one. Wherever you want them. Just pull them out. Pull them out. See there? And you can make all kinds of beautiful little things happen there. And I think this one's getting close to being done. Put a little ground area right in here. Touch a highlight on it, and we'll call this painting finished. I hope you've enjoyed this one. It's a nice little painting. It'll give you a lot of happy little ideas from all of us here. Happy painting. God bless.